Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, crazy babies. Welcome back to another episode of Jam Sessions with your host, yours truly, Joe Mycutt. Sorry for my voice. I've been a little under the weather, but can't nobody hold me down. Oh no, I've got to keep on moving. And with that little bit of entertainment, I'm going to scooch along off stage and bring to the stage your next author. Also, guys, stay tuned after the interview for some other book recommendations. I have a few good books that I think you're going to love to hear about. So be sure to stay tuned for those. Without further ado, here's your next author. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, crazy babies, to another episode of Jam Sessions with your host, yours truly, Joe Mycutt. Sorry for my voice. That little flu monster is trying to hold me down, but y'all know that's not going to happen, especially when I have a guest like today. I have with me the international motivational speaker and author of Behind the Scenes of Purpose, Deliqua Isom. How are you?
I'm absolutely amazing. I'm excited to be connecting with you again.
Absolutely.
It's been, like we was saying, it's been a minute, but it's always great.
Yes, ma'am. And I've been a fan, and I've been following you and watching your author journey and your journey in general. And I'm so proud of you, and I'm super happy to have you on here so that our viewers can get to know you and your book, Behind the Scenes of Purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I will start with the first question. What is Behind the Scenes of Purpose in essence? What would you sum it up and tell the viewers it's about?
So Behind the Scenes Purpose is about a journey of aligning to the purpose that God intended for your life. So it talks a lot about mindset rebuilding, getting rid of old behavior patterns, old mindsets, unlearning a lot of things so that you can truly walk in what God, the source energy, has designed for your life to be in. So that's what it's about in essence.
I love that.
Mindset shifting.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And I love that source energy. And, I've discovered life is a lot about unlearning. It's not about trying to become who you were meant to be, but realizing who you always were and unlearning everything you've been taught to get back to that point.
Get back to that reconnection.
The roots.
That reconnection, the rebirth.
The roots and rebirth. Yes, ma'am. I love that. Now, what is your favorite segment or your favorite part of the book? What was most memorable in writing this book for you?
I think when I talk about coping versus dealing, because America tells you to cope. Oh, you have to cope with your anxiety. You have to cope with your stress. You have to cope with these issues that life bring about to you. And I don't believe that you have to cope with anything. I believe that when you walk through a healing journey, a true healing journey, you deal with those things, and those things no longer become triggers that you have to cope with. So I think that's the shocking part of the book for everyone, because we're taught, take 2 of these and call me tomorrow. Right. Cope with this and call me tomorrow. And you don't have to cope with anything. That's just my personal experience with my healing journey. I asked God to remove all residue of everything that I've ever been through. And so when I really go in and tell my story to people, people are like, what? You went through what? You did what? They're amazed. But they're amazed because they don't see the triggers in my behavior the way I show up. Exactly. So that's why that part of the book is like it for me, and it's been it for a lot of other people.
Chef's kiss to that, because recognizing, a lot of people don't put that into understanding the difference between coping with something versus dealing with it. If you cope with it, then it's like it's always hanging over you. It's something you always have to work around and carry with you. But if you deal with it, it's like taking it off your shoulder, processing it, transmuting, working through it, and then putting it away. And there is a big difference there. And until you say that out loud, people don't really think that. So I think that's something great to put out there. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And what do you hope readers take from reading this book?
Mental clarity. I hope that they gain mental clarity in reading the book. I hope a lot of their questions that they've been asking are answered in the book. Because one of the things I do in the book, the way that I wrote it like a conversation. So I'm asking questions, challenging your thought pattern. So I'm hoping that when I challenge the readers in that way, it brings clarity and understanding to them.
Oh, that's beautiful. So it's almost interactive.
Yes.
It's almost like a telepathic conversation between the reader and the author.
Yes.
I love that.
It does come with a journal, and the journal is created to go with each chapter. So you can't get the journal and be like, oh, I'm gonna use it for something else. No, it is literally titled for each chapter.
Right. These aren't free blank pages for you to write your grocery list on.
Right.
That's funny. I love that. I love that. And I love the interactive aspect so that people can actually have a conversation with the author and think through what you're trying to get them to think through, and then journal that. That is a beautiful aspect to include. So about Miss Deliqua, tell us something unique and interesting that maybe not everybody knows, something exclusive for jam sessions, something that they may not know.
That everybody does not know. That I'm a kid at heart. I think people see my social media and they think that I'm just a real serious person all the time. And I'm absolutely not. And I don't take myself that seriously. I understand who I am, but at the same time, I'm very, very much in touch with my inner child. And the only way that I can be very much in touch and in tune with her is because I healed her. So I think that's the part that people don't understand about me. Like, okay, this girl is really like a clown in real life. She really ain't that serious. But I think that's the thing, the misconception that, yeah.
But you know what? Those of us that have had the pleasure and honor of being in your life, we do know that you are kid at heart, and you can turn that on and off. You can be that diva goddess mother and then be that beautiful, wonderful, free child. And that makes you an excellent person. And it is because you said you've worked through that. And it's great that when people see you, they don't see your set of circumstances. They don't see what you've been through because you aren't those things. Right. And that's why they're so surprised and taken back, because people expect you to be a culmination of what you've gone through. And when you're not, you're an example that you can rise above those things.
Yes. And embodying all of those experiences and becoming that person that you hear about, that you read about, really embodying the story of who you truly are. So yes.
Right. Absolutely. Now, what is next for Deliqua? Are there any other books or projects underway that our viewers or your fans can put on their calendar and look forward to?
So right now, I am going to start writing my third book.
It's a process.
It's a process because I've had to, all my books I lived through first. I get all the experiences and then I write. And so this book that I'm getting ready to write,
yeah,
it's heavy because it's talking about overthrowing the opposition, but first you have to realize what that opposition is.
Interesting. I got a feeling that might start
inside.
Yes. You know, maybe sometimes we want to work on the environment around us so that we feel like the inside is improved. But really, when we work on the inside, the external things seem to appear better. So maybe I don't know, a little cliffhanger,
just a little bit.
Toss my little guess in the hat.
Yes.
So now, is this third book? Is it almost sequential to this book?
Yes, all of my books have been sequential to each other. Like they literally, and this is the thing. If you know me, you know I didn't want to become a writer. It was nothing that I said, oh, pick me, let me do that, let me write this book. And so they are purposeful books for me. There are divine connection, divine alignment for me to do. And so I only write when I'm being released to write. And because when I write from a place of love and a place of empowerment, not brokenness. So
right. Well, and that's really got to be the reason, you've got to be moved by what you're doing. And those types of purposes really have to be behind why you put out a project. And then anything that comes from that project as reward or benefit, that's all substantial. That's all extra.
Yes.
So I think it's important to have those motives behind why you do a project and to wait until it's organic or authentic and genuine.
Yes.
So now tell us the name of your first book in addition to Behind the Scenes of Purpose.
So my first book is called Through the Pain I Rise, Let's Talk.
I love that. Through the Pain I Rise, Let's Talk. Girl, yes. I feel like doing spoken word on that.
Right. Go ahead.
Through the pain I rise. Let's talk. Because through the fire I walk.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
I won't stand in it, but go through it.
Come on.
When I'm done with it, there's
come
nothing.
on. That's why I tell people, like, in order to have a breakthrough, you have to really break to come through.
Oh yeah.
So whatever that thing is, you have to break it to come through to the other side. So I don't really think people understand the concept. Oh, my breakthrough coming. No, it ain't coming if you ain't did the work.
Okay. And work you shall
do.
What
did you break through for it to come?
Okay, something's got to break, honey.
Something's got to break.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Now, your books, to make sure that everybody knows where to get them, because I think it's really important that people hear your story. And, there's no one size fits all for everybody, but we can take inspiration from other people's stories and, and just know that if they can do it, we can do it, if nothing else. So where can readers get your books? Amazon.com?
I prefer y'all to go to my website.
Okay, plug it.
So my website is Deliqua Isom.com.
Okay, Deliqua Isom. So your name, as it's written there on the screen, DeliquaIsom.com.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
That's it.
So if you guys are looking for some great self-help, motivational, inspirational reads, please go check out Through the Pain I Rise, Let's Talk, and Behind the Scenes of Purpose, both by Deliqua Isom. Now get your reading caught up because the third one is underway and you're going to want to be ready.
Yes.
Overcoming obstacles. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So it has been an absolute wonderful pleasure. I'm just honored to have had you here today, my dear friend. So thank you so much for joining us on Jam Sessions and honoring us with your presence.
Thank you.
In awe and inspiration by your journey.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Till next time, crazy babies. And we will hopefully see Miss Deliqua when her other book comes out, if she's not too big. And above at that time.
In Africa somewhere again.
I'll come over there and knock on the door. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you again, friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, crazy babies. All right, crazy babies. I hope you enjoyed that interview and getting to know that author. And as promised, I have a few more book recommendations for you. If you're looking for a great children's book with a great message, check me out on Amazon. Beautiful Boy, the children's book by Joseph Mycutt, but it's got a great message for all ages. And if you're looking for a book of poetry that follows the author's journey through a very traumatic and dark period of her life, leading to the triumph that she's experiencing now, I highly recommend 20 Years of Winter on Amazon.com by Marie Dawn Moldovan. Also, if you are looking for poetry that follows the author's journey through many, many heartaches in the search for self-love, then I recommend on Amazon.com, But I may be a romantic, but I'm not hopeless by Alicia Hodge. And then last but not least, I represent this author and he's got a great mind. He is writing a book series now called Philly Dare Bedlam. This is the first book release in that series. It's called Vocus Animarum on Amazon.com by Martin Hoyle. And if you're looking for a book that dives deep into the psyche and is a psychological thriller filled with all sorts of content from spirituality to mental health and schizophrenia, I definitely recommend this book. And I'm also going to close us out with a video from that author, which kind of gives you some insight into that series. And something you should know is that not only did the author produce and direct this video, but he also created the music you're going to hear playing in the video. So check that out.